Alright, we're back again, ladies and gentlemen. We got a couple things here. I've already reviewed the 16-inch KS47 rifle. It's 16-inch length. Love it. If you've seen the video, I covered some issues I had, growing pains with it after front pin falling out for the retainer on the magazine. But I have the 8.5-inch pistol length that has the KK flash can. This has a temporary Venom optic on it. I'm having a cheek weld way lower than I want to use this, but it's what I had. I do have another red dot on the way. And then I did add the Law tactical folder to this system. It's my first one. I've been excited to get one. Out of the pistols I have, this is the one that got elected to do it. Today is its first day out. Also, just like any of them I've seen so far, all of the KS47 lowers and complete rifles, I believe, all come with their enhanced trigger. So it does have a little bit nicer trigger than factory mil spec, but it's nothing to write home about. I like it. I can live with it. It's tolerable as can be. It has the tailhook mod 1. I like these because they're alloy. They don't bend. They do work for your one-hand shooting. Opens up, so if you want to shoot one-handed, you can. Downside of this compared to a double star that's actually concave the other direction is it's both sides, so for shooting right or left, it works. This, you're going to have to flip it the other way to use it left-handed if you're not a righty like myself. You lefties are weirdos. Anyway, this is a, someone wants to know, that is a Strike Industries link system. I've had a few people ask whenever I share this online. I like the look of it. I'm not going to say I like just how it feels. It's a little strange. It's not something that I don't want any part of, but it's not something I'm in love with it. This is my 10.5-inch KS47 pistol with the cheap $25 eBay extension I put on there just to get rid of the, bird hider that's on everything that I have, so I have to change it up. This is the SBA 3. Everyone's usually pretty familiar with that. Does not make this a rifle. This is a arm brace, just so you can sit your arm through there and use the strap to maintain it. It does have the QD mount right here. I've never used one of those, so I can't say how well that would or would not work on it. But same trigger. Hollow Sun works great. I've got a few of these. I try not to buy more because I don't want all the same optic. This one, it's got the Odin Works front hand stop / AFG. I do like the way this looks and feels. It's very comfortable whenever using it. No complaints on that. This is the first Palmetto State Armory item I've ever purchased that had an issue with a part. The bolt would not go all the way into battery. I could charge it, and whenever it would come forward, it would stop right about there with the round in the chamber. It was able to manually feed the base of a projectile, or not the projectile, the shell, into the bolt and slide it in by hand, work it in, and I was able to get some rounds off. Took that bolt out, put it in the rifle, same issue. So that right there told me, okay, this is a bolt problem. I got a hold of Palmetto. I said, hey, do I have to send in the whole rifle for you to fix this thing? They said no, because I told them, hey, I've got 2 of these. Now I've got 3. That was a problem with both rifles. Can I just send the bolt or what? They said, yes, send us the bolt. I said, fine. So that's out with them. It'll be back whenever they get around to it. So I stole the bolt out of my KS47 rifle. This being first time for the 8.5-inch, I am having an issue with separation from the rail. Tightened it up after it separated probably a good 1/4 inch. I put it back, did it again, I tightened it again, popped off a few more rounds, getting sighted in where I wanted to be, and it's not moving yet. Hopefully it's done. I put a little more torque in it. Unfortunately, all I had that happened to fit was an Allen wrench that is specifically designed for adjusting some of my optics. I believe that is for my Hollow Sun, if I remember right. Could be wrong. Got all kinds of random tools. And my buddy that's out here with me, he noticed my ejection pattern was pretty bad. And so at first I wasn't sure if it was just using one of these. I don't know what brand this is, but it's not one to feed reliably with this. It was working in my KS47, fantastic. Weak ejection. I brought a spare buffer with me. I've come to the conclusion that videos like this is, I'm really happy to share stuff that I'm learning whenever I'm going along doing this stuff, so people can see it, identify it. If they have problems, they can learn from it, make it better. This and this, both of these come with the same thing that the 16-inch KS47 rifle includes. that is H1 buffer. So you've got an H1 buffer that seriously helps out that rifle a lot with just how it operates. It's smoother, a little more recoil function control. Well, the weak ejection pattern had me thinking, well, if I sped that bolt up a little bit, it should fling them a little bit further to the moon instead of by my feet. So I took another spare buffer and spring I had, threw it in there. It's a lighter buffer. It's not an H1, it's probably a regular carbine buffer. Either way, it's lighter. Ejection pattern looks fantastic now. So that does make me think that only failures I had being magazine related, this thing's probably going to be much more reliable than it would have potentially been anyway with the weak ejection pattern. Now, the PMags have been working flawless. I will try this right now. If we're going to see if it's going to fail, let's find out. This is a Bulgarian 40 rounder. I bought a stack of these, and you know, it was a good deal. I was warned that the front feed lip can break, so I'm trying not to be too rough with them. Hopefully it doesn't happen. If it does, then you know, guess I wasted money. But so I'm gonna try to be gentle with it. If anyone does want to see, I've already shown it in the Palmetto State Armory AK video. You can see the difference right here with how much more material is on top. All right, so this little difference here, these are clearly a stronger magazine. I'm not gonna even assume why it would be otherwise. So one guy on Facebook I talked to about these, he said that yes, he broke one being a little rough with it. So I'm gonna treat them gentle. They're gonna be range mags only for sure. But I got this thing dialed in. Don't think I'm gonna do an accuracy test today from 100 yards. It's just got some other stuff to do back at home, and I'm not trying to keep my buddy hold up all day out here anyway. But do some shooting for you, show what it does to some of these steel targets in the paper. I've got it dialed in pretty well. I do have to pull down a lot further than I want, so it's a little rough on the cheek. But so far, she's been doing really good. Pretty quick follow-up on that. I mean, I can't complain. I will say that my KS47 rifle, it follows up a little bit better. It's heavier, but this is still considerably light than a lot of ARs due to the fact that your mag well is missing. Instead of using the AR-47 systems I used to operate that were a good time and they were super reliable from Palmetto, I had to have the proprietary magazine. This is a convenience, being able to run the AK magazines, because if you have AKs, which I'm recently getting to where I have a couple, I don't have to have a proprietary mag that's set up just for that. I've got mags for this, for the rifle. I've got for the AKs instead of having an extra slot just for specific magazines. So I'm gonna run this out, and so far the Bulgarian, it locks in tight. No wobble front to back, side to side is minimal. I can live with that. So for a range mag, I think I got a good deal. Downside of that, just like an AK, if you weren't aware, I don't know if you've already seen my other videos, no last round bolt hold open, and I wish they would have integrated a bolt hold at least. That would have been convenient just for clearing charges. I do want to, on my full-size rifle, add a side charger, just like my PSA AK, and I have a little M92. I want to convert that to a left side charging handle, so I'm going to see what kind of injury that do to my warranty on the PSA, because that would require me to drill the bolt and add my own little deal in there, so maybe they won't hold me too liable for things if there's a failure not related. But so far, you can see right here, we're getting separation. So, you know, take the good with the bad. I really love this thing. First time out. Only reliability issue has been what I said. I can't complain about it besides this. I have seen a report of a guy on Facebook, one of the, I think it's a KS47 page, drilled, tapped, set screws, and it stopped the problem. We shouldn't have to do that. It sucks, but I have not had the right tools to be able to tighten this down. I'm literally using something that's designed to adjust an optic. So when I get home, I will loosen these, set it back, and use the actual correct star pattern screws, Torx heads, and I will put some torque behind it. Right now, I put enough on here to where this thing will start to try to goober up the ends there, and I don't want to just destroy my tool. It's for my sights that I keep in my range bag. But it's better than it was. I had a nice big gap after probably half as many rounds as this thing's already seen. So with the correct torque, it would probably be okay, I'd imagine. So not bad. This thing, the only failures literally have been just from this magazine right here. I wasn't going to bother with the Korean. It looks identical, except it's got the double layer in here because it's got 2 pieces of sheet metal versus this is one piece. It's just as thick as both of those. Bulgarian, you just saw it perform flawless. Don't see any type of wear marks or anything. It's good to go. I do have 5 of these, so I'll have to give those some more abuse at the range and see what happens. But we'll play with this one here. I have shot this before and nothing. I haven't shot it much because of that bolt problem. Once I realized that it was an issue, I went ahead and got with them, sent it in. So this is my first time to actually enjoy shooting this, hopefully with the bolt working fine, because this is from a functional KS47 16-inch. I have not checked the ejection pattern, so we'll find out right now. Alright, that's not bad. It does need to come to the left a little bit. Don't think I got to sight this in very much at all whenever I got to shoot this last time. So let's see, go right, go left. She's getting there. Little boring track now. I wish I could have sighted this in ahead of time. I didn't think about it, but she is definitely ringing some steel at this point. I cannot complain about that whatsoever. So we'll keep running it just because we can. I want to see if I have any failures with it. If it fails, I want to fix it. If I can't fix it, I don't want it. At 60. And we're running out with some, what is this? This is some surplus ammunition from 1971. And I can't remember who made it. But I will say, so far, heat's not too bad. 60 rounds into it. It's not bothering me. Should get a little warm though. Last round. It felt a little light when she went into that last one, so that tells me she's empty. Oh, I'm lying. I have one left. Alright. Let me try to take my magazine out that's not there now. So that's 90 rounds non-stop. I'm sorry. I forgot. We used a 40 rounder. So it's 40. Not too shabby. Ran 100 rounds. Was that 120? Okay, yeah. 36, so it's 100 rounds non-stop, no problems. Out of curiosity, because curiosity killed the cat, let's load up the 40 rounder, the mysterious 40 rounder from I don't know where, because there's no markings on it. And I am not an AK avid guru god that can look at the form of a magazine and see who makes it. You guys want to see up close? There you go. Don't know if you need to see the base plate or the spline, but you know something I don't, feel free to educate me and let me know, because I am clueless. It definitely looks like it's well made compared to my Korean cheap pile of dookie that I will say my Korean pile of dookie that's giving me problems in these is stellar in the AK. So it was made for an AK. It works great in the AK. So I will give it that much credit where it's due. All right. Might be choking up in here, but I could have swore it was working fine before. And once I had my issue with the front pin falling out, That's where issues may or may not have began. But put some of this in here. The only issue I have is I'm now out of steel case. So I'm going to feed this thing slap full of brass. It doesn't give me a problem with this. It tells me that maybe it just doesn't like working in here in one of these with steel case. Maybe it's dragging, I don't know. So if this thing shoots 20, I will pull it out of the 10.5 inch length KS47, put it back into the 8.5 inch, and if it will feed 20, well, maybe there's a solution to be able to use it. If not, I might be stuck with AK only duty. So I have a couple of those that would be happy to use them, that are already proven to be reliable with the junky Korean. So if it'll be reliable with that, it'll be reliable with anything, I'd imagine. I do not recall trying the cheap 75 round Korean drum with an AK yet. Did not want to work in the 16 inch variant of my KS47, but the 75 round Romanian did. And my understanding is that the 75 round Romanian is actually made in China. How true that is, I don't know, but that's the chatter I see online. Alright. 20 from the 10.5 with the mystery magazine. Maybe she'll eat, maybe she won't. She's getting a little warm finally. So it takes 100 rounds to get one of these hot enough to where you think twice about holding it. If you were wondering, now you know. Alright. Save the rest of those for the other one, but sure seems like it's working. That thing is warm now. Good enough for me. So that was about 120 non-stop. So let's try this little 8.5 inch guy, so we can finish knocking the rail off of it and see if it wants to malfunction. If it doesn't, I'll know that's ammo / mag related in that particular combination. Well, it's good to know that this thing might actually work reliably with the mystery 40 rounder with brass. That's a good thing. Now I'm going to want to pick all that brass up because I want to start reloading 7.62x39, and the military surplus stuff, if you know anything about it, it's not your standard primer and hole and all that good stuff. So I'll keep my Winchester stuff because one day I might reload that. But so far, these guys have been reliable. A lot, I say well north of 20 uppers and lowers from Palmetto State Armory I've experienced personally. That this one right here, this would be variant number 6 out of 7 7.62x39 variants from Palmetto State Armory. This is the only one that I've had to have any issues with when it comes to parts. I did have issues with, you know, things being tightened up. I've gone over that in the KS47 video, how I buy things like this from them, I will take it apart and I will just put it back together because I want to know it's tight. I've had issues with little odds and ends, and these two I didn't, because I know that I had the pin fall out right here. This is the pin that I've had fall out on my 16-inch variant. And also you see this is loose. This is just another example of the only issues that I really complain about Palmetto is final assembly, and I know they're working on that. They're constantly trying to get better. These are proof of it. The Gen 1 KS47s were horrible. You know, a lot of people had problems. A lot of people didn't mind that as long as they didn't leave the magazine resting on something that it was reliable at that point. Now it doesn't matter. You do what you want to. You're going to run it. No last round bolt hold open or bolt hold open in general. That's a complaint that's valid for a lot of people, but you've got ergonomics of an AR, left side thumb safety, and you get to run your AK mags and AK ammo. I mean, that's a win for me. I love it. It's just ridiculously stupid fun. I have to come back one day and I'll probably run all three. I'll run you my 16-inch, the 10.5 inch, and the 8.5 inch variants with the scope, see what kind of accuracy they get. I'll bring some good ammo with me so we can test, see how it does with the junk, some toll ammo again, probably Monarch, and then see if I can get some Hornady Black, some match grade, something that's good so people want to know, okay, can I buy this thing that's relatively cost effective and cheap and go hog hunting with it reliably? I'm going to say yeah, you should. All the testing I've seen, the 16-inch variant did better than Vepr and other high-end, I call it high-end, AK, and AK is what it is. There's no such thing as a high-end variant when it comes to accuracy, I don't believe, because they're reliable. They sacrifice a little bit of, you know, clearance tolerances just for reliability. These are still your AR. They're still tight. They work fantastic for me so far. So, I mean, I'm proud to report that literally just the one, and I know they're going to take care of it. I know if you don't have the patience and don't like to roll dice, you buy one of these, there's a little chance you might have to send one back in if you're not like me and have more than one to prove, hey, this is my problem. Because this right here, right now, it has the 16-inch variant bolt inside of it, and it's eating fantastic. I wish I had plenty more to throw at it, but all I got now is this stuff right here, which, you know, it's brass. You see it's making a magazine that was not reliable. It's making it reliable now, so that's kind of a heartbreaker, because without steel case, you know, I like to see something eat the crappiest of the crap I can throw at it, because that makes, you know, a battle rifle type system worth owning. You know, depends on how you look at it. A lot of people don't. They're willing to sacrifice some reliability, knowing that it eats a certain type of ammo, and that's just not me. I like to know that it's going to eat anything I throw at it, because what if that's all I can get? You know, what if it gets harder to find good ammo and all you can find is trash and you want to go to the range? If it can't eat whatever, then it's not satisfactory in my book. So here I am being able to eat whatever so far, except for with this little magazine here. We're going to run it again just because I want to know. If brass is the cure for this thing, I'll keep brass in it. Maybe just leave steel in it and leave it for the AK. But so far my Bulgarian is satisfactory, 40 rounder. So, you know, it would just be nice to have a steel 40 rounders that are reliable, because you can beat on them, not care. We can finish rattling the front handguard off this thing, shall we? 20 more rounds, it's not too shabby. I want to go back again with this guy, and I'll throw some 8 and 3 at it, because that right there is some pretty good stuff that I know you can get through. Ooh, I don't want to lie, I had it on the tip of my tongue. It was, wow, some cool stuff. It's actually designed for, I guess, military type use for fragmenting, so if you wanted to go hunt with it, it's supposed to work pretty well. But I can't remember who I got it from, and that's aggravating, because I like to share and spread the information that I'm fully aware of. So try the Bulgarian again and try it with some of this stuff. It's toll ammo, it's nothing spectacular. $210 for a case of 1,000. So, alright, that thing's locking in pretty good there. Just trying not to make sure I'm too rough with it. Bulgarian's working great, and that 8 and 3 is doing its job. That gap is opening up a little bit further, so I guess I will report back. Hopefully I can come back at some point and check out the accuracy on these, just for learning purposes. People want to know, hey, what does that little short 8.5 inch barrel do as far as keeping things on target? Same thing with the 10 inch. And of course the 16 inch is going to be your run-of-the-mill go-to system, that it's rifle length. You can use it for hunting and all that fun stuff, and I'll have an answer for you on that in not too long. But I'm pleased. I did actually hear of people having issues with the 8.5 inch variants from PSA having ejection problems. I shouldn't have to tell them anything how to fix something that's brand new. I understand a lot of people get livid, like I shouldn't have to fix things, and you shouldn't. But here I am with my answer. Try the lighter buffer. Man, the thing, they were dropping 2 feet from me. I mean, it was nothing. It's pathetic. I happen to have a lighter carbine buffer in my bag, just loading things up to come out here. I was like, I'm gonna leave that in there. It was for something else, and I was like, you know, never know. Maybe because I knew these had H1s in them, and I got out here, and now my ejection pattern is, I mean, everything's 8 feet from me, 6 to 8 feet. That's fantastic. That's where you really want something like this. So from here on out, hopefully people will have any issues with these. I'm going to put it inside the comment for the label of the video. I'll put the 8.5-inch variant as well as the 10.5. I'll try to make it so if somebody's searching for 10.5-inch KS47, 8.5-inch KS47, they're pulling up the video and they'll be able to see this insight. You know, if they got the patience to listen to me blab my head about stuff that's not relevant to anything except for the part where they're needing to fix weak ejection problems, failing to eject. If it's short stroking, had a guy mention that the other day, short stroke and other whatnots. I said, hey man, just, put a lighter buffer in it, see if it lets that thing come back a little bit further to pick up that next round. This seems like it was possibly borderline. They have a system that they designed in the 16-inch and they left it alone, put it in here, and now you've got less pressure getting through that gas tube to push that gas key and activate it. So that might be your answer. If you're having problems with those failing, swap it out. They're cheap. I mean, if you're like me, you got patience. I don't care. I don't mind tinkering with stuff as long as I can get it right. If I can't get something right, I get aggravated because that's not what you want. That's not any fun chasing your tail. My KS47 video for the full-size rifle, it's enough to tell you I had a self-inflicted problem, and I found it. I'm glad I didn't have to send it in and look like I didn't know anything about anything upon possibly returning a rifle that it was fine. It was something I'd done aside from that pin falling out. So today, at some point, I'll go home and I will probably pull both of these apart and I will see what's going on with them as far as what's loose and what's not, because I wanted to see, without me messing with anything, what it would do. I wanted to see if the issue I had with the front pin falling out. Like I said, I don't remember if I showed how many people have seen this, but this little pin right here, that's its job, is that locks in. It's got a set screw on top. I missed that with my KS47 rifle, but I know it's there now. I'm gonna check the torque on it, see if a little bit of heat loosen it up or not. I'll probably Loctite it myself again, put it back together. I might put a notch inside that pin just so it has a place to sit. If it does, for some reason, with heat fluctuate a little bit and back off, it's got a home. It's not going to let that pin go anywhere. So, I'd like to have this thing run as reliable as possible. Outside of that, only thing I would add to either one of these that I don't have yet would be a sling loop. I like to use a single point sling. I mean, fantastic as far as performance. So yeah, torque on that guy, and man, I'm pleased. They both work. I just can't wait to get my other bolt back. I'll test that bolt out probably back in the 10.5-inch that I originally had the problems with, because I know the bolt that's in here going back to the KS47 rifle, it's home, it works, it's flawless, good stuff. So, and if for some reason someone wants to see this, this is the buffer that I have, and there you go. It's a white on the back end. I don't know if that designates carbine buffer or not, but that's literally what it is. And you see how easy that is to pop out of there with this flaw folder? That thing's pretty cool. I have zero regrets buying this, and I have another one that's going to go on a 4-inch barrel with a little bit of a flash can on an AR9. I just have to figure out the bolt situation because it is Palmetto State Armory Gen 3. That bolt does not have a hole in it for this little buffer weight in there. That's an extension to do its job. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed my lack of ammo. I didn't get to push these real hard, but you can see, touching base on little problems you may or may not have. I'm surprised I have the issues I had out of the bolt in the 10.5-inch model. I've never had bolt issues from anything, so could have been an extractor swap. I don't know. It could have been something really stupid minor, but I was like, hey, just let PSA swap it out. I don't know if they're testing it or just going to swap it. I don't know. Either way, it'll be back shortly, and I'll have that rifle will be back with its own personal owned bolt carrier group system in there, and I'll go test it again to make sure she's 100% reliable like the rest of them, and that will probably be when I come back out and test the 8.5, 10.5, and the 16-inch variant for accuracy. I will get me, I don't know if I want to do a regular 2 to 9. I'll probably get something a little more stronger power than that, just for quality of being able to make sure everything's on target as best as I'm capable of. I'm not someone that shoots all day every day. I shoot weekly, and I do what I can, and I've never been into just trying to get precision, but people want to know, so I will do what's in my capability of an average shooter, I would call it, to see what these things will do on paper. I don't know if you can see from here what I've got, but it's holding up. We're at about 40 yards back, and I don't even think it's 40 yards.